of a switch, at the press of a button, we are back here at the epicenter of On the Money Sports in the heartland of Nostalgia Mania, the On the Money Sports Lounge, coming to you live, the Mega Powers reunited once more for an epic, explosive, uncensored edition of On the Money podcast, maybe the most important episode of On the Money podcast this season. The only episode more important is next week's episode when we come to you live for the beginning of the fantasy football playoffs. But for some of you, the playoffs have already started. Just like us in Gridiron Goats, there is no room for error. I hope that you hit the waiver wires hard on Waiver Wire Wednesday and you're doing whatever it takes to survive. And if you've already clinched your playoff spot, don't rest on your laurels. Don't get lazy talking about making plans for your bye week, because the competition never sleeps and you've got to be sweeping legs left and right, making sure that some of the premier fantasy football players are not going to be in the tournament so that you don't have to deal with them. I am one half of the Mega Powers, Irrational, and alongside me, making his return to On the Money podcast, ladies and gentlemen, it is Oscar O'Money Muniz.
Ladies and gentlemen, how are we doing this fine evening? As you can see, I'm a little congested still. I'm working through it. It's going to take a little while, but I'm all right. Compared to last week where I thought I was dying, I'm good.
What up, Julio?
I cannot complain. You know, just a little congestion. Went from my nose, it started in my throat, went to my nose, down to my chest. Was real heavy for a couple days, but I'm back. I'm good, and let's get this show on the road.
It's go time. I told him to put on the Vicks, ladies and gentlemen. He refused. I even threatened that I was going to tell his mom. That still didn't work. But nonetheless,
I do not use Vicks.
He's back.
I don't like the way it feels on my chest. It just,
But I mean, it's that time of year, bro. Like that temperature change is so crazy. Where it goes
I know
from
my mother's going
cold.
through it. Crystal went through it.
That shit messes you up.
Alexi's going through it, but I'm pretty sure like the people that are catching it at work are catching it because I worked all week. Because I'm not a pansy.
The bill still needed to get paid.
Yeah.
Totally understood. Big week. I mean, it's just, this is like the best time of year.
I'm sitting there.
We spent all year preparing for this moment.
So like I said, last Tuesday it started. Wednesday by 12 o'clock, I knew right then and there. I was like, oh, I can't do the show today. I said, I'm done. Like, I'm beat. Like, everything. Thursday, it got a little worse. But then Friday, the turn took. I started to get the hot tag in.
What up,
by
Chris?
Sunday. I just stayed I went out in the morning to Target to get a couple things for the house.
You're like Hulk Hogan with the neck brace after a giant broke his neck.
I came home, put on sweats, a hoodie. I didn't even wear a Steelers jersey. Maybe that's why we lost. I just wore a regular Steelers hoodie. Yeah.
You didn't wear a jersey for game day?
Nah, I just put a hoodie on.
That's how you could tell it was bad.
And I sat on. At first, I started watching the game up there, but then the couch was getting uncomfortable, so I came down here, watched it on that side. Boy, I wish I didn't watch it at all. I wish it just took NyQuil by accident instead of the Dayquil I took.
Boy, I wish I didn't watch my game either. I wish I would have just used my phone to continue texting my friends while watching Red Zone, because I had Dofu Sports streaming the Titans game, Red Zone on the big TV. The finish of my game was totally not just the finish, but just the fourth quarter in general was completely insane. I don't know what was worse. The Titans, the way that they fell apart in the fourth, or the way the Jaguars fell apart in the fourth on Monday Night Football.
I saw halftime of that game. My ticket busted. I picked under for passing yards.
Thank you, sir. Bronx baseball, baby.
I picked over for rushing yards, and I got those out of the 4. Those are the 2 I got wrong. I was not happy. It is what it is.
Oh, you know what I picked? The pick that I thought was the safest pick was the Jaguars money line. I made bets like Jamar Chase over 60 yards, Jamar Chase anytime touchdown, Etienne touchdown, hell, Joe Mixon touchdown, Trevor Lawrence for 2 touchdown passes. All those things happened. All of them happened. Even Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown both scoring over 20 and 25 points on a parlay with that
what up, Chris?
dreaded Jaguars money line.
What up, both Chris's, and what up, Rob?
What up, Rose? What up, Chris? Like Zach, the podcast is back just with better production, of course. Yes, and Zach Wilson is back, and maybe that's the big news of the day, but I figured that we'd start with the big news of the fact that the 49ers whooped the Eagles' ass and what that could potentially mean for the entirety of the NFC with a huge showdown scheduled for Sunday Night Football. That's not even the only big showdown, though. We've got the Bills versus the Chiefs. Like, we've got a huge slate of football on Sunday, not to mention double main event for Monday Night Football, Giants versus Packers, Dolphins versus Titans.
Julio's right. Let's give a huge shout out to the On the Money Sports fan forum. I declared this at the beginning of the 2023. By the end of the year, we should be at 500 members. We are at 501.
Yes. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe the 500 member was none other than Jordan Holman, a 49ers fan. Shout out to you, my friend. Appreciate you. And the fact that now we are at half of 1,000 right now.
And we got another Chris in. We got Wasky, Roy, and now
all the Chris's are in.
All the Chris's.
The
3 C's.
Chris Negron is the only Chris left that hasn't checked. So if he checks,
we're waiting on one more Chris to
crazy.
complete the trifecta.
That'll be absolutely insane if he checks in right
now.
We got all the other
Here
ones.
we go.
Nets World is in the building. That's right. Basketball is happening right now. Big night for the NBA. Unfortunately, for my basketball heads, you might have to bear with us because there's so much happening in football right now. The fact that it is week 14, it is the final week of the fantasy football season. So right now, if you play fantasy football, even if we're not on the topic right now, we just want you to post what you need to keep your fantasy hopes and dreams alive. Because after this week, you're either in or you are out. This is that week where you play it out, and then there's that dreaded Tuesday morning when you see yourself in the other bracket. No, not the playoff bracket, the consolation bracket. And it's one of the saddest things to be setting your lineup for the consolation bracket because you're just trying to squeeze a win out, knowing that it will not avail to anything. Let's go, Chris. Where you at? If it's cool, I want to add a couple of my cousins, bro. Your cousins are like you and like us, loving sports, love talking trash, but also know how to keep it fun and keep it friendly. I'm all for it. I'm all for it, bro. Because it was a very fun weekend and week in the On the Money Sports Forum. I lost
my 4th straight game in sick picks after sitting pretty at the third. I am now on the outside of looking in.
I didn't realize that you felt like, what the hell happened to the Evil Warriors?
Pat Mahomes, AJ Brown hasn't done shit in a couple weeks.
He hasn't. Mr.
My running back room is just.
What up, Drew? We see you, bro. I have no hope. The non-mighty Lions are on the couch with the Panthers. Yeah, bro, you've definitely been the Carolina Panthers of these leagues. I've never seen.
Andrew's in the building. Hey, Andrew.
I've never seen anybody do what you have accomplished, Julio. This is Detroit Lions 2016. You're going to be getting the trophy that is currently residing with Terrell. Terrell's excited to bring it back, and you're getting the trophy, bro.
Bro, I've never been in a league where someone hasn't
won a game
all year.
What up, brother? How you doing, dude? How's it hanging, my friend? Comments are flowing.
Hello, Drew.
Oscar. Bro, it's funny as hell knowing your friends because then you know when they type something, how they say it. It just makes everything that they type even funnier. Knowing Drew. Wow, Terrell is last everywhere. No, Terrell, the team that Terrell had last season in our sick picks is kind of like the team that he has right now in the Yahoo League, which it's pretty bad. It's pretty rough to look at, to say the least. And I'll be playing Terrell in that Yahoo League this week, and he will be playing for his life. I've already clinched in the playoffs, but I'm still trying to set my most potent lineup because I don't have any bye weeks for week 15. All my playoff teams will be playing week 15. So for me, week 14 is more or less the bye week. And I'm using that week to be able to make the ads I need to try to stay a step ahead of the competition, and also to look at to look at the massacre that is going to be.
I can't help but look at the comment. Oscar.
I smiled when he only said hello to me because I was like, yo, he's setting something up. He's like Jake in a way with that. Where it's like,
man.
he'll
because of our exchange this week.
He'll set up his punchline with 3 lines, where it's like you get the first line, the second line, and then he hits you.
Yo, I hit him when he was talking about, I'm not gonna. We're 10-2, and I'm not gonna allow something. You're crazy if you let it stew. When I asked, so why didn't you go to the?
I'm sick. Why didn't you go to the Pacheco parade? That was fucking funny, dude.
I know
that
you popped.
Yeah, no, I popped, dude. I popped. And then I think right under that, I posted the picture of me staring at the TV on Sunday, eating the Hawaiian rolls. It was a landmark Sunday. A lot of funny stuff happened. A lot of funny stuff happened. Hashtag Hawaiian rolls, baby. I
was low-key mad at that question, you jerk.
You just slam your hand on the table. It was like this. He had to go there. Yeah, that was funny, dude. That was a great one-liner,
bro. All love, brother. All love.
All love to you always, bro. Hope to hang out with you soon. It would be no greater time than right now. In these next couple of weeks,
the Sixers need back Kelly Oubre desperately, Drew.
What did that have to do with anything? He just had to sprinkle it in there, dog. He took the opportunity to strike, and he did, and he maximized on his opportunity.
I was just trying to make a point to the whole letting it stew.
That shit was funny, dude. Yes, please. When? The next Sunday? What do you think, Oscar?
Not this Sunday.
The following Sunday?
Yeah.
Maybe. That'll be the Week 15 fantasy playoffs. So everybody's hearts will be in their throats.
My game's on Saturday the night before, but that's fine. I'll have the lounge.
Steelers play on Saturday?
Yeah, we play the Colts Saturday. Bumped us up.
So you'll probably be either stoked or melancholy.
I'll probably be
sitting in the back. If anybody who's been inside the lounge, you know more or less what Oscar's spot is when the Steelers aren't doing so good, and it's usually stewing behind everyone. Me, I kind of sit on the sidelines and I kind of just sit there and I stew / seethe.
I'm just sitting there like this.
But the great thing is this week the Titans play on Monday, and we're gonna get our heads bashed in by Miami, but that's gonna be on Monday. So the Sunday slate.
I thought you guys played. I thought the Jets played Miami.
That's next week. That's for the fantasy playoffs, which sets up a very interesting scenario and conversation, because the Jets secondary, we can make all the jokes we want about the New York Jets, but the Jets secondary only allow 200 passing yards per game, going up against the stack of all stacks. So
there's 2 Monday night games?
Yes, we are getting 2 Monday night games happening at the same time.
Weird.
ESPN2 will be broadcasting the Cheeseheads against the G-Men, and we will be going up against the Miami Dolphins.
Oh, because Packers Giants is going to be on ABC.
And ESPN2. It's going to be
ESPN Plus, ABS.
Oh, ESPN Plus, ABS.
I'm thinking it'll work. ABS fittings. ABC and ESPN Plus is the Giants pack.
What up, Eric?
And Titans Dolphins is regular ESPN. Okay. It's so weird.
And it's 4 teams that tie into fantasy implications for a lot of people.
Rams beat the Ravens this weekend.
They will not.
I know.
Because the NFC does not do well against Lamar Jackson. They don't have the game plan for him. The NFC, Rams are game planning for the likes of McCaffrey of the world. And, they don't have to deal with a Lamar Jackson. And it's a very pivotal time for the Los Angeles Rams
It's going
because
to be interesting.
they're not out of it, but it just seems like they're kind of like Mick Foley, where they just keep crashing through tables, but they're just not completely out of the playoff picture. And technically, even though a loss would hurt them, a loss to an AFC team
won't hurt them.
Won't necessarily
That's
take
why
the
it's
Rams
going to
out
hurt the Packers on Monday when Tommy Cutlets pulls the upset.
The Titans play on the Nature Channel. Yeah, it's going to be a mauling. And I cannot wait to place my wager because I plan to make a killing on Monday Night Football. And I watched this be the week the Titans completely screw it up for me. They've done it before. Anytime they're involved in a bet, either way, I just rather not be involved. But I can't resist because the Dolphins stack is going to be in play. Tyreek Hill is 500 yards away from 2,000 on the season, and we're watching milestones, seasons end, playoff berths being clinched, all in one span of this weekend. So it's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
What up, Mike D?
There's going to be a couple upsets this weekend.
Yeah?
I think the Giants are going to pull the upset off Monday.
With Tommy Cutlets?
Yeah.
In Jersey?
I read Tyrod Taylor's not happy. He's not getting the start Monday.
He's getting, this guy's insanity, bro.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Forget about it. What's the matter? What's the matter with you? Chicken Parmesan sandwiches across New York. If DeVito ends up pulling off the win over an all of a sudden quietly surging Packers team. Packers are on a roll.
Giants are not eliminated from the playoffs yet with a 4-8 record. If they win, they're 5-8.
Yeah. Can Hill win MVP? I sure hope so, man. Because I feel like he's the MVP. Honestly, I know it's a quarterback award. I get it. Okay, yeah, I understand. But Tyreek Hill,
the
bro.
answer to that is who's throwing him the ball.
And so Tua has to be in that top 5 conversation. That's why I felt like that would be a good place to start for tonight because based on recent events of this past week, where we saw
there's a couple people, and one of the people that nobody wants to seem to give credit to because I get it.
Here we go.
We know where we live.
Here you go.
I placed my wager.
Love is on fire. Packers win.
I placed my wager.
Hill should be MVP.
Dak Prescott should be
lose his mind.
A front runner for the MVP.
You know what the problem with that is? The Dallas Cowboys still haven't beaten a 500+ team. They haven't beaten a winning team yet. Their defense looks good against bad teams, and it follows suit with the actual football team because they beat on the bad teams, but have yet to get a good win over a actual contender that they're going to have to play.
It's coming this Sunday.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Dallas is winning this week.
Yep.
Interesting. Early on the money pick. Is that going to be on
the money pick?
Just have the green check mark on it already? Just book it. Just book it for Sunday Night Football. Great main event for what I think is going to be a great slate this coming Sunday. I'm super excited. I think Tyreek Hill should be
7
MVP.
straight touchdown drives. Is that what the Eagles allowed this past weekend? We could take Jalen Hurts out of the MVP conversation, all right?
Or he's going to fall under definitely the guy that just beat him, Brock Purdy.
Yeah.
Brock Purdy is on a roll right now. And then Deebo Samuel, a guy who was talking so much about the Eagles that even I was like, all right, bro, enough is enough. He went out there, and this man put up 3 touchdowns on this defense.
He had 114 yards on 4 receptions.
DraftKings puts up the pre-made parlays where literally it had Hill, Henry, McCaffrey, and Deebo Samuel together in one. And the only reason I didn't hit on that parlay is because Deebo's name was in it. And I went and I made my own. I still won money. But if I would have bet on Deebo, if I would have bet on a multiple touchdown day for Deebo, which I probably wasn't going to do because I didn't have the balls to do that, dude, I'd be in the money right now, wearing a monocle over my eye because that dude was money. And if you started him in your lineups, he basically did for you what DK Metcalf did for you on Thursday, where he won you your week by himself. Don't even look at what your other guys are doing because guess what? Deebo just scored another touchdown. Like, that was insane. They got punched in the mouth. The defense is super suspect.
Bro, every time he touched the ball, he was running with a purpose.
Ooh.
That was months and months and months of anger built
RJ will
in.
lose his mind. The Packers lose to the Giants. The 49ers wanted it. The 49ers were one of my on-the-money picks last week because I knew that they wanted it.
It's like once they felt them out, and if you look at their game plan,
thank God for
if
Dak
you
and
notice
Lamb.
the defense of the 49ers created like a horseshoe on defense.
Well, they did a cover two
They
shell.
they pretty much wanted Hurts to stay in the pocket.
And he was not good from the pocket. He was not a good pocket passer, and it showed. They did a cover two shell because he wasn't running with the football.
Uh-huh. And then they basically were telling their ends, don't go sack him, keep him in the pocket.
And it worked. It was a great game plan. And then on the other side of the ball, the Eagles couldn't stop a nosebleed as far as anything that the 49ers wanted to do.
Is bad. I had to hear it was very quiet at Ace on Monday.
It was very quiet. A somber day.
It was so quiet you could hear a mouse pee. But by Wednesday, we got Shaq Leonard. Rah, rah, rah. I'm like, bro.
Great signing. Injury-prone player.
That dude hasn't been the same since Derrick Henry broke his mouth or whatever it was.
Broke his nose and made him tumble over himself on the ground.
That dude
he's never recovered.
Has had 2 back surgeries, and you're telling me he's your savior?
Eagles' red zone offense is horrendous. Yeah, it's funny. The offensive coordinator of the Eagles comes out, and just like Mitch Trubisky's statement, I felt like this was equally as funny, where the OC comes out and says, we need to establish the run. Well, who has the most power to establish the run more than anybody?
So that leads you
Wouldn't it be the offensive play caller?
Or is Nick Sirianni calling the plays that he's just OC by title?
Because now they're all talking about establishing the run. Now that's the theme. After the fan base basically told them. And Sirianni is a lot like Tony Khan in a sense where he's going to pander to people and whatever they say, he's going to try to do it to make them happy because he's a mark. I get it. But your OC, with the play calling that he's been calling, play calls that even in Philadelphia Eagles wins, Eagles fans and the fan base have been questioning through the entirety of games. I know because I'm a part of the forum. My news feed is littered with Philadelphia Eagles fans, so I read everything that people are saying through games. Sunday Night Football, Dallas Cowboys versus the Eagles in Dallas for the NFC East potentially. Huge matchup here. What can Dallas take away from what they saw the 49ers succeed in? And take it into Sunday night.
Dallas only lost the last game because they were a yard and a foot out of bounds short.
Well, they lost by 10, right?
They
lost by 2 possessions.
That touchdown and the 2-point conversion where he stepped out of bounds.
And Cowboys fans,
those are the difference.
Cowboys fans, don't get too excited because the 49ers bashed your heads in too. It was 42-10. I remember that score. They beat your ass. So at the end of the day, the 49ers are looking like the best team on the NFC side. And it's a toss-up as far as the AFC. Yeah, they got the 2 biggest wins that they needed to get. And now for them, a huge matchup to really put the nail in the coffin and be able to go up against Seattle and to beat them for a second time after what they did to them on Thanksgiving. Like,
that was a beatdown.
With Purdy playing on the level that he's playing on right now, McCaffrey, Debo, Ayuk. Here come the 49ers firing on all cylinders right now with the revamped defense that they have and all the acquisitions that they made, and everybody's looking healthy. They're looking like the scariest team on that side. And if they lose to the Philadelphia Eagles on Sunday, then the storyline is the 49ers just can't get over the hump. The 49ers are just that number 2 team that when push comes to shove, they're going to end up folding at the end. And now they changed the narrative with that win.
If the Eagles lose Sunday, they could turn into a wild card team.
Well, they do. Yeah, they do. Right after
Dallas
the loss.
Dallas would take first place because they play more division opponents and they beat all their division opponents so far. And this would be the Eagles' 1 loss. So yeah, that would.
And then back-to-back losses against the 49ers and the Cowboys. Is this a must-win for the Eagles?
But I've been saying it for weeks, and I was called a hater at work. You're just jealous. Rah, rah, rah. I said you cannot continuously sustain to play games like this. You're going to get caught in a buzzsaw, and there's this time, Buffalo had them beat. If Gabe Davis runs the right route, the game's over. The week prior, if MVS holds on to the ball, the game's over. And we're talking about a 3-game losing streak right there.
The 49ers,
but the ball bounced in their way.
49ers executed better than the Chiefs and the Bills did, especially when we look at how Kansas City took the L this past week. The 49ers are just
Casey's starting to look suspect, man.
Super sus. Super sus.
He's killed me. Oh, he's killed me in sick picks.
That offense is rough, bro. And I'm not seeing no look behind the back magical passes anymore by Patrick Mahomes because there's no Tyreek Hill out there to be able to bail his ass out on the other side.
Yep.
You've got guys that you can't trust, and you've got a young kid in Rashee Rice who is looking like that next wide receiver. But it's a lot to be getting, 9 targets off the rip because there's literally nowhere else to go with the football. And there's nothing magical about Travis Kelce right now except for his life off the field.
Lost to my Jets, enough said.
Eagles lost to my Jets. San Fran will be NFC #1 team if they win Sunday and the Eagles lose. And there's still a couple of weeks. There's still a couple of weeks of football left, so anything can happen. And don't forget, the Eagles have 2 matchups against the Giants, where all of a sudden, if the Giants win against the Packers Monday, those 2 matchups become a lot more interesting. And also, the fact that Jalen Hurts wasn't running means that he wasn't healthy enough to run. Otherwise, he would be running.
Yep.
So that's another storyline to follow along as we move forward, because with the Dallas Cowboys pass rush going up against a Jalen Hurts that might be forced to stay in the pocket, this is a huge matchup right here for all parties. This is a huge matchup for all parties. And I'm sorry, but that Eagles defense is leaking. And for them to think that signing a linebacker who was made to basically play the run was going to be the answer, they look like the 32nd worst pass defense in football. Like, everybody's throwing on these guys.
Bro, Darius Slay's like 34, 35. Like,
he can't stay healthy. If the Eagles lose this week, it's over. Damn, that's an Eagles fan saying that. Rick just getting it all out of his system. That's Rick Grubb. He said if the Eagles lose this week, it's over. Wow. And I mean, that's coming off of a tough loss that was basically built up a year in the making. The trash talk between the Eagles and the 49ers, it's been a great storyline that evolved into what we saw Sunday. To then come off of that and then lose to your most hated opponent, the Dallas Cowboys, in Jerry World, with Dolly Parton and all of them out there. Like, they're going to be out there, everybody shooting their fake guns and just yeehawing.
Former Governor Chris Christie.
That's what you want? You want the Dallas Cowboys to be yeehawing all over you guys? You're not going to do shit about it? Somebody has to step up. Well, like, you got Kevin Byard out there, right? What's he been doing for you guys in the secondary?
Remember, that was the missing piece.
There's a lot of missing pieces. There's a whole lot of missing pieces.
The whole secondary.
And it seems like they're missing an offensive coordinator. And we talked about it being the gauntlet, and they started out good. They started out good. They started out on fire, but that's why it's called the gauntlet, because out of nowhere, shit can get real, and it got no realer than it did this past Sunday.
I mean, well, after Dallas, I think they got the Giants twice. Seattle.
Damn. Dallas favored by 3.5.
There's another AFC team they got to play.
The Niners scored all their touchdowns with wide open players. Yeah, like, I was like, yo, where's everybody at? Like, do you not see this guy running in the back of the end zone? Did they not see Brandon Ayuk? Do you not see Deebo Samuel? He scored earlier. He's still here. He's still there.
Yo, Deebo was just cutting and strutting.
Cutting and strutting, dog. He was cutting and strutting. Yeah, it
was bad.
Crazy. Absolutely crazy. So bad that there were actually a couple Eagles fans ready to openly say on Monday that Brock Purdy is the leader as far as the MVP race goes. So at least I got that out of them, which I felt good about that. Because sometimes it's like pulling teeth just to get people to admit something.
Yeah, Terrell was still, it's one loss.
To me, it's Tyreek Hill. To me, it's Brock Purdy. And then anybody else you want to have a debate about under that, you go right on ahead. But those two right now are on top of their game. And I don't expect the 49ers to lose to Seattle this week. I just don't. They bludgeoned
the Eagles'
them.
schedule's a cream puff from here on out after Dallas.
The
Seahawks, the Giants, the Cardinals, the Giants.
Yeah. So you just got to take care of business.
Cream puffs.
You got to take care of business. So there's still potential for them to get that 1 seed. But
And Dallas has Buffalo, Miami, the Lions, and the Commanders to end the stretch. Buffalo, I think, washed. Miami, it's in Florida,
Dallas
so I can see them losing
Miami.
that.
And Miami's the 1 seed right now. Like, Miami could potentially be playing their starters the rest of the way to try to get that 1 seed. Because they have the same record as Baltimore with the advantage over Baltimore. So every week means something for them. So that Dolphins versus Cowboys game might be top 3 biggest games of the year when it finally goes down. Oh, yeah, and it goes down week 16, which is round 2 of the fantasy football playoffs.
The Dolphins end their season with the Titans, the Jets, the Cowboys, the Ravens, and the Bills.
Chicken parm for everyone. Tyreek Hill needs 500 yards to re-up. Yep, I mentioned it earlier. He needs 500 yards.
The Ravens end their season with the Rams, Jaguars, 49ers, Dolphins, Steelers. That's big.
Well, after what we saw with the Jaguars, they may be going up against C.J. Beathard or a hobbled Trevor Lawrence.
I would just sit the week out.
Don't rush him back. You idiots had this guy walking the entirety of the stadium after the injury. Couldn't even pull up why is he walking so much? Why are we coming back?
Guy.
Why are we coming back for the camera panning on this guy still walking? How big is your stadium? Where do you need to get him to? Can you guys just carry him? Dude's your franchise.
You can afford a swimming pool.
Bro, why is he still walking? It was 4 minutes later, and he's still in the shadow just walking. And I'm already pissed off because I know my parlay is going to shit. That fourth quarter got so murky and spooky so fast. This is coming off of Tyler Boyd literally giving them the football back on a crazy oopsie-daisy play. I don't know what you call it. I call it an oopsie-daisy. I don't know what that was. When Browning threw it to Boyd, and then Boyd threw it to the Jaguars. Jaguars take it and score. Like, that's it. That's the game right there. Or at least it should have been. Nope, it was not. Jake Browning was out there looking like Jake Burrow, and Jamar Chase with a 74-yard touchdown for all the bonus points in the world. Like, every week, everything we think we know, it just teaches us that we don't know. We don't know. I didn't know the Eagles were going to get their ass beat like that. I didn't know Jamar Chase was going to have 56 points. Yeah, I picked them to lose, but I didn't think it was going to be like that. And that leads to my next question. Would the Eagles even benefit from having the bye week and then having that week off and then having to come out and try to heat up right away against a team that played the week before, wild card weekend, that's hungry, that's going to come in looking to punch them in the mouth? Like, I think the 49ers proved they can go play anywhere. If you're Philadelphia, like, you've already got these questions as far as establishing the run. So your offense is a little shaky right now. You really want that week off? You think that's going to help your offense? Is that going to really help for you guys to kind of get the ball rolling? Because you're getting to the nitty gritty now. The NFC East is on the line. The NFC is on the line.
I mean, the good thing is they got 2 warm-up games to get them. They got a couple warm-up games to get themselves ready with the Giants and the Cardinals.
Niners versus Ravens.
And the Seahawks.
Yeah, you got a couple sparring. You got a couple sparring sessions that you can
help
get
me
right on.
Because AJ Brown has just been fugazi right now.
It's a woozy. It's a wazi.
That's what he's been for the last couple weeks.
AJ Brown only had 66 receiving yards last time he played Dallas. There's a fact. And CeeDee Lamb had 191 receiving yards last time he played Philly. These are the facts, people. All right. So always open is going to have to go out there and put on a show, bro. Because right now I have more confidence in Dallas's offense to execute than I do Philly's offense.
Ooh.
Based off of what I've seen.
Wow.
I'm sorry, bro.
Normally you wouldn't hear that.
The Shaq Leonard signing did not impress me at all. And their performance on Sunday did not impress me at all. Like, it just they fell off the rails in that second quarter. Because in the first quarter, they're kicking the field goals. They're playing the battle. The field position battle was being won by Philly, and they were executing. They just weren't closing it out. They couldn't close it out. And then all of a sudden, the 49ers said, you know what? Enough. Like,
after that first drive, it just like a Like a
something
switch
went off,
got
bro.
flipped.
Yeah, something went off in their heads, and they snapped, and there was no turning back, and they were not letting
Tony
their foot
Pollard
off the gas
is
pedal.
finally showing up because I've been criticizing him all year.
Oh, he's the Patrick Mahomes of running backs right now. Just the guy that you pick in the first round, and he's not giving you first round numbers.
Nope.
It's not happening. It's frustrating. You know that in your league, and you're going to, based on my argument last year, you're going to get a kick out of this. Because in your league, I'm currently considering for this week starting Zeke over Pollard. I know. I was one of the ones. I was a Tony Pollard truther, bro. I was like, these guys are insane. He's clearly the better back. He's the RB1. He needs to be the one starting. And now here I am staring at my Wyatt family saying to myself, damn, Zeke on Thursday night? Pollard against still the
and Zeke's
best
going to be the
rushing
guy for the
defense.
next couple weeks.
Ramondre's out.
Ramondre.
Ramondre's out of the picture.
What they said, like a minimal 2 weeks?
2 weeks, and it might be 3. So Ramondre Stevenson is not going to be a part of the next 2 weeks.
Zeke is going to be a playoff factor in fantasy football.
Bro, I'm surprised I got him on waivers in your league. Like,
I put a claim in for him, even though I'm eliminated.
Wow. This guy, bro. Wow. At least you admit it. At least you come out and say it. It's okay. I didn't do it in the leagues I knew I was eliminated in, which is 1. Because I'm proud to sit on this podcast and say that I have clinched 9 playoff spots in 12 leagues. And I got 2 teams that are like lying in the gutter, but they're still alive. So they just need a couple things to happen.
I got 3 out of the
dodge
7.
a couple punches.
I've clinched 3 out of the 7, and 2 of them on the fringe.
So it could potentially be 5.
5 out of the 7 will work for me.
And both of our teams are in the same gutter in Gridiron Goats because
What quarterbacks does Mikey think he's going to win with in League of Boom?
All the Money Sports, you mean?
Yeah.
League of Boom, his team is... Wait, I don't know. Where is League of Boom quarterbacks? I don't know.
I thought one of them was...
He has Beathard right now and Dobbs in All the Money Sports.
Ooh.
And what makes it interesting is Mikey needs you to beat Jake. Why you shook your head no?
Bro, I haven't won a game since September.
He just shook his head no. This man walked in playing the guitar with the belt on draft day after winning the championship last year. And now, last game of the season, this team has just...
CJ Beathard and Bryce Young are his quarterbacks in League of Boom.
Oh, shit.
He's already clinched.
Yeah. Yeah, so he just needs time. he needs time.
But he doesn't got to buy.
You don't have the number 2.
Or wait, does he get a buy?
Yeah, because if he wins the division, he gets the second round. He gets the ticket. Rose is the one that he needs to lose because Rose is right behind him.
It won't matter. Mikey's got the first round bye because
he does.
Rob's only got 8 and 5.
Oh yeah. So Mikey's got so you have time in League of Boom, bro. You got your Victor Timely right now in League of Boom, and you have a little bit of time to figure things out. I don't have time. I will be playing next week in League of Boom.
Who does Terrell play this week?
Don't know, but he's currently, I think, the 7th seed.
Yes, he is, because I'm the 6th seed.
And so he needs you to lose.
Oh, he plays Mikey. He should beat Mikey. Oh, wait, Mikey's still favored to beat him, even with those 2 QBs.
So if Mikey beats Terrell, League of Boom is locked in.
Yeah,
as far as the playoffs, that's it. It would be Terrell losing and League of Boom, like whoever's there right now, would be the playoffs, and then I'd potentially be playing the 5th or the 6th seed because I'm either going to get the 3 or the 4.
It's okay, Chris. Tito, it's all right. You're 5 and 8. You don't need to win. Don't set a lineup.
Set that lineup, bro. No mercy. I preach that shit. You don't want to give anybody the free pass to get into the playoffs because if you do that, crazy shit just happens. And you're letting the likes of the Justin Jeffersons of the world and, the Derrick Henrys and all these guys, Brandon Ayuk's, the Brock Purdy's, bro,
and playing Julio in sick picks.
If you don't remember why that's important, folks, Oscar made the declaration this past summer that
And the beer money boomers are playing Anthony. So if the beer money boomers win and O Money wins.
Oh, yeah, you need me. You need the no, those aren't the boomers. That's the revolution. Don't get it mistaken. The beer money revolution, currently on a 6-game winning streak, the hottest team in the Sick Picks League, going up against AWOL, the 8th seed that is hanging on by a thread. If I were to beat AWOL and you take care of business, then you will be in the Sick Picks League. You cannot drop out, because the declaration was that if he did not make the playoffs in Sick Picks, that he would leave the league on his own reconnaissance. He would retire from Sick Picks had he not made the playoffs. These storylines for this week are just freaking incredible.
Yeah, they are. Like, I don't even care what happens in Dynasty. I'm already in.
I'm in. I just got to see who I play in the first round. I got to see who it is. And now, not only am I in Dynasty, but now I have the entirety of my team together. You know what I mean? Like, I was riding it out with the team that I had, just making shit work. But now I have Fields. I've got McCaffrey and Barkley, Lamb, DJ Moore, Michael Pittman and CeeDee Lamb had a combined 33 targets between the two of them. I'm going to say that again for this week. Michael Pittman and CeeDee Lamb had a combined 33 targets. Dak Prescott and Gardner Minshew literally were just giving them the rock, bro. The same amount of times that you give a running back the rock, that's how many times they were getting looked at, which explains the numbers that they got. CeeDee Lamb with 2 touchdowns. Michael Pittman with the big day he had, including the game-winning touchdown. Whew. My Minshew-Pippen stack in Dynasty went crazy this past week.
Minshew to
Gardner Minshew, bro. One of the names. One of the
is
backup
he
quarterbacks.
To start this week, or are you
in
giving
Dynasty,
it to Justin Fields?
I'll go Fields, because I like. Don't get me wrong. I like Minshew, but I like Fields, and Fields is the QB1. And I'm looking at Week 14 for me as like, okay, if I was setting a playoff lineup for this week, what would it look like? And I'm going to use all my guys. It's going to be Fields, Barkley, McCaffrey, and then I'm going with all my wide receivers. It'll be CeeDee Lamb, DJ Moore, Michael Pittman, and Jaden Reed.
I hope they save Kenny Walker for one more week. Let him rest again.
By tomorrow, we should know more. Tomorrow is when those injury reports start to be a little bit more definitive with some of the guys who they've been, kind of keeping quiet as far as who's been at practice and who hasn't been practicing. So I expect to hear news on Kenneth Walker. I expect to hear news on Trevor Lawrence, Aaron Jones, who, you know that story and that song and dance if you drafted him this year. Every single freaking week with that guy, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Jefferson needs to be my savior in Sick Picks. I hung on to him. Where are you at in Sick Picks right now? Like, what's your overall record in Sick Picks? You're like in like 6-7 seed spot, right? It creates an interesting situation. Me, Terrell, RJ, myself are top 3, and RJ and myself, I have a 7-point lead on RJ for the most points total in that league. So there's like a lot to play for right now. We're talking 1 seeds, most points, championship. Like RJ said, the Triple Crown earlier in the group chat. 4th seed. I'm locked in. Oh yeah, you're good. So you're just watching the chaos. You're watching to see what happens at the bottom, because as the 4th seed, you're potentially going to be playing whoever's at number 5, depending on the amount of games that are separated. So you're already eyeing up that team, thinking about a potential matchup with them and looking at the players that they have and seeing, what's it going to be. For me, it's most likely I end up playing like the 6th seed, especially if Terrell and RJ win again. I'm pretty sure I'll be at the 3 seed, hopefully with the 9-5 record, and then playing whoever's at the 6th spot. Who at this moment, I'm not quite sure who that is. There it is.
I'm going to figure something out real quick while you're here.
Weird ass team hung on. That's what it is, bro. That's what it is. Listen, I said it a few months ago, actually like 2 months ago. I was like, I really drafted CeeDee Lamb and Diggs together. What was I thinking? This Sick Picks team is one of my least favorite teams. And now the Sick Picks team might be my strongest team. That's like it's the lineups that you sort of pay attention to the least are the ones that it kind of just works out. Meanwhile, the ones that you're putting fab bids on and spending your entire week staring at are the ones where shit just cannot go right for you no matter what. The leagues where you've missed the playoffs in those leagues consecutive years and you're just trying to get back into the fold, those are the leagues where things just do not work out well for you no matter what. Where that's by thread. Yeah, I feel for you, Mike. The fact that you scooped up Beathard in a couple of spots and On the Money Sports, you're playing them for your season on the line, and League of Boom, you're playing them because you have no choice. I wish the best for you in On the Money Sports.
The Camden Block boys need to just do the job.
No. No, they don't.
They just need to do the job.
Because if you lose and then Main Event loses, I'm pretty sure I have you both beat by points. So if it came down to a tiebreaker between the three of us, as long as I take care of business, I'm still in there. I get JJ back in On the Money Sports, and we heard that the report was Josh Dobbs is officially QB1 for the Minnesota Vikings. Who do they play this week? Can't remember right. Oh, the Raiders. Minnesota has the Raiders this week. So maybe having a Justin Jefferson who not only had the time off, but had the extra bye week and was at practice for who knows how long potentially, going up against the Raiders, who we kind of know more or less who they are. This should be a game that the Vikings win. Just hoping that Dobbs goes back from turning into the pumpkin into the Cinderella's carriage once more. And
who's Mikey's quarterbacks in it was Trevor Lawrence
and Sam Howell. Sam Howell's on a bye this week as well as Kyler Murray. So no Cardinals players and no Commanders players. So if you've been relying on Sam Howell to this point, the numbers that he's been putting up has been able to get people out of a lot of ugly situations. Sam Howell is very good for fantasy football. He has been a waiver wire gem. Sort of like CJ Stroud in a way, where it's just been production week in and week out.
Bobby got Lamar, right?
Yeah, he has Lamar Jackson.
And who's his other quarterback?
Hurts? Or I don't know.
Danny got hurt.
I'm not sure. Not totally sure. I know I have Tyreek Hill, though. I know I have Tyreek Hill, and I've got Tua. So it's just been that was my take of the year, was telling people to go get Tyreek Hill and then be patient and late rounds stack them up with Tua. Like everybody who did that is probably in the playoffs. If you have that stack and you're not in the playoffs, I don't know what the hell you did, because that stack can literally just get you into the playoffs. The week that they went up against the Denver Broncos, I almost won my division that week. Like it was week 3. And these guys scored so many freaking points that like there was no way to be able to recover. None whatsoever.
Shit. Freaking Alex is going to look like a genius. And he brings that shit up to me all the time.
What, CJ Stroud?
Yeah.
The current number 1 seed in the On the Money Sports League, the Rotten Giants. Alex has been cruising. He was actually my last loss in your league 6 weeks ago. It was Alexi.
Really?
I played him. That was the week that I didn't have Dak Prescott. I didn't have Jamar Chase. Like a lot of my big dogs weren't there. I still had a couple of good players. I simply just didn't score enough points because Mahomes gave him like 60-something points that week.
Jake's quarterbacks are Russell Wilson. Nobody important.
Kyler Murray.
Kyler Murray. And before that, it was... it doesn't matter. All right, so here it is. So far, this is what we have for the G-Money Award.
Oh, yeah.
I wanted to figure this out.
Oh, yeah.
Because this weekend is the final
I'm
weekend.
excited about this right here.
This is the final weekend. So we're going to have our winner. After this, on Tuesday, I will announce who the winner is.
Will we be doing the awarding of the trophy for the Week 15 if we hang out in the lounge?
Yeah, whoever's here, yeah, I'll do it.
I like it, man.
Right now, the leader is Alex with CJ Stroud at 567.2. However, right next to him is Joel with 565.6. Josh Allen. Next is Tua Tagovailoa, 539.7.
Oh, he's going to catch up this week.
After that is Danny with Hurts, 533.5. After that is Dak Prescott at 529.8.
My two quarterbacks in the On the Money Sports
And
League.
last, with an outside chance, Brock Purdy for my dad with 511.6.
I love it. I'm about to fire up Purdy over Hurts this week.
So far, so there it is right now. Alex is in first by only 2.4 points. Then it's Joel, then it's you, then it's Danny, then it's you again, and it's my dad.
I have two chances to get this right,
which is
with
crazy.
My two quarterbacks.
So one,
who have gotten me over 1,000 points just with the two of them.
3, 4, 5, 6.
It's like having two members of Evolution in the cage, in the elimination chamber. I'm trying to get that freaking, and it's
I'll even let you hold on so you can stare at that all weekend.
Yeah, that's good shit. That's good shit. Because I was definitely gonna bring it up, not just because I was already tallying it up in my mind, but because this is a very, very important part of our league. It is a very, very important part of the brotherhood that we have in this league, and a very, very, just in my mind, a great way to be able to each year in, year out, be able to honor our friend G Money. We lost a couple of years ago, but he's always a part of this league. I didn't have the opportunity to know him as long as some of the other members of the league, but from the time that I got to know him, it's been that camaraderie of just that competitive nature of trash talk and learning the game from somebody who was playing the game much longer than I was. Just sitting across from him as like a dominoes partner and going up against Nick and his mom and just trash talking, having a good time. Like anytime, the few times I was around him, it was a good time. And that's what I remember. And that's why winning the G Money Award means as much to me as winning any fantasy championship this season. Because just the way for us to just every single year in our league honor our friend.
Yeah, so we got all that settled. Everybody knows what they're looking at going into this week.
It's interesting. It's interesting to see the numbers. And I'm surprised that Allen. I'm not surprised about CJ Stroud. I'm surprised that it's Josh Allen. I figured it would probably be Jalen Hurts, and it was only a matter of time before I heard Tua's name.
Imagine if he didn't throw all those interceptions, he'd be leading right now.
Well, I mean, if there's so many ifs when it comes to the Buffalo Bills. If they win this week, like if they lose this week, they're the 11th seed right now. The Bills are currently the 11th seed going up against the Chiefs team that may not have looked its best, but I feel like when it comes to the Bills, the Chiefs will kind of have their swagger back.
If the Bills beat the Chiefs, things are going to get very interesting.
Bro, the think about Josh Allen versus this Chiefs defense.
This is what are they? 8-4 now?
Yeah, Chiefs are 8-4.
If they lose, they're 8-5.
Yep. Still,
and the Pittsburgh Steelers win, the Chiefs and the Steelers will have the same record.
If the Broncos win, the Broncos are only a game and a half out of first, and the Chiefs lose, and they have a win over the Chiefs. And
the Broncos' schedule gets tough though down the stretch.
It does, but it's been interesting, bro. They've beaten good teams. They have more big wins than the Cowboys do.
I know, they lost. They still could have won that game, which is the crazy part.
Mm-hmm.
But Russ was due for a bad game because he's gone 5 straight games of winning with no bad games.
It sucks we lost Tank Dell in the process of that game. Cortland. You know what? Hold on. I have an announcement to make. I'm about to interrupt the podcast with the announcement that I'm going to make. I'm just going to pass the microphone to him because I'm going to grab a beer for the groundbreaking announcement that's about to go down.
Oh boy. I already know where we're going with this.
I need to do this.
I know
It's a big night. This feels like the Academy Awards of the On the Money podcast because of all the truths and revelations that are dawning upon us. We have the point spread for the G Money Award, which you can now make a parlay on if you wish to. We've got the reality of who the big dogs are. And at this moment in time, on the 5th year anniversary of playing fantasy football along my compadres, everybody knows along the way there are just certain characters and certain players that I just can't get away from. If they're on the board, I'm taking
Joe
them.
Mixon.
Joe Mixon.
AJ
Dillon. Brandon Cooks. The who's who that have worked their way into the Beer Money Hall of Fame. All three of those guys have gold jackets. AJ Dillon, Joe Mixon, Brandon Cooks.
Nick Mullins.
that
was a surprise.
It's like when they say Jeff Jarrett was part of the clique. He rode on the bus, but let's not get too crazy. Nick Mullins, I started him that week in the playoffs because things just got really bad for me. But nonetheless,
it worked.
I will be adding a new member to the Gold Jacket Beer Money Hall of Fame. Beer Money Comeback Player of the Year, whatever you want to call it. This man has a touchdown in 9 football games this year. He has only gone 3 games this year without scoring a touchdown, and I think he's going to get another one this week. Ladies and gentlemen, the newest inductee of the Beer Money Hall of Fame, none other than Courtland Sutton, bro. Just absolutely unbelievable how once upon a time we thought Jerry Jeudy was the clear wide receiver 1 here. He hasn't been. Not 1 week has he been better than Courtland Sutton. If he was, show me because it slipped my mind.
Year.
The dude,
and it's been very underrated. Like no one's talking about it.
He's giving you 16 to 17 points a week. I know because now, based on his production, it's like in my mind, I know just to start him, put him in the lineup because he's gonna get me something. There's nothing to question when it comes to this guy. He is a walking touchdown. He scored again this past week. And going up against the Chargers defense that I think is the second friendliest pass defense to fantasy wide receivers, I am super excited to fire up
stat man on the podcast.
Courtland Sutton everywhere. Yeah, maybe I'll just try to write extra notes to just keep track of everything.
We just need to
hire on the fly.
We need to hire more people for On the Money Sports.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot for two. We handle everything: the camera, the production, the visual aids, the creative process.
Here we go.
Spend the money on the merch. The gimmicks.
Where's he at? Here we go. I found them. Courtland Sutton has 637 receiving yards with 9 touchdowns this year off of 50 receptions. He's averaging 12.7 a reception. He's projected to finish at 902 yards receiving with 13 touchdowns according to ESPN. Mind you, he's doing a lot of this with no real help from Jerry Jeudy on the other side, and Russ, Russ just isn't cooking.
Who else does he really?
Russ is cooking. Russ used to be like he's the Olive Garden of cooking, but now he's like.
Well, he has a defense that's only allowing 17 points a game right now.
He's doing dollar menu cooking.
They took that beating that the Dolphins gave them personal because that defense got way better. They had their winning streak of 5 games ended against the Houston Texans team that you and I both know have something special right now because C.J. Stroud is definitely cooking. So there's no shame in losing to the Texans right now.
And they almost won that game.
And guess who they play this week? The good old Chargers. So we got Broncos versus Chargers this Sunday, and I think that the Broncos get back to their winning ways. I think that Russ gives you that, 220 passing yards, and not just that. This man's running with the ball now. Like, he's getting a lot of rushing yards. 2 weeks ago, he went full flat-out Russ Vick, where he was just continuously running down the field to keep the Broncos' hopes and dreams alive. And he succeeded in that. Denver's alive and well right now in the middle of this crazy-ass AFC race because of the fact that besides the records of the Ravens and the Dolphins, everybody else is.
And the Chargers are 5-7 and Denver 6-6. We really thought the
That's a
Chargers
big
were
game.
going to figure this out this year, and apparently they haven't.
Nah, I had them at 9-8, not
So
figuring it
the
out.
Broncos
8-9.
are in Los Angeles this week for the Chargers. Then they got to go to Detroit for the Lions. They're home for the Patriots. They're home for the Chargers, and they're away for the Raiders. I think they go 3-2 down the stretch.
3-2 would put them at
8.
9-8. In the AFC, that could be enough, bro. With all these teams, the way they're losing. Like how
I remember
long,
last year before this year started, we thought a 10-win team would miss the playoffs in the AFC.
Yeah.
Now it's not looking like that.
We thought it would be like all the heavyweight quarterbacks. We just didn't expect them all to go down, dropping like flies.
The Bills are in 11th place. The Bengals are in 10th place. The Bengals were in 10th place with Joe Burrow.
Bills took themselves out of the whole equation.
Joe Flacco. You should have seen my Twitter, Browns fans were coming at me on my Twitter timeline because of the Steelers or the Cardinals, and they just kept talking about Flacco, baby, we're going to the Super Bowl, blah, blah, blah. And then by the end of the game, the best comment I read was by a Browns fan, same old Browns. And I chuckled. And
Flacco, for sitting on his couch, just chilling, doing whatever, to come back and he was throwing touchdowns, bro. Like he was back there just slinging it. He didn't care. You could have got that so much cheaper than what you paid for the quarterback that
didn't care either. Nor did Puka Nacua didn't care.
That was a good game.
That was Puka's best game since October.
Like the Rams doing that to that defense was just like, oh shit. Like, okay. Like the Rams have their moments. It's just they've had to deal with like 3 years worth of adversity to where I train my mind to assume they stink already. But they're not like that. They're
fighting.
They're going
to get first round picks back this year because the 3 years have already passed with the Matt Stafford. Yeah. They'll finally get a first round pick this year, and they can help improve that team a little bit.
They can get like the 7 seed, 6 seed, maybe.
If they just get a little bit more protection on that offensive line, that team's going to be a problem because Matt Stafford can still sling it.
They're in the division that could send the most teams to the playoffs on the NFC side with Seattle and the 49ers and them. Like they're in, like that's like what the AFC North is, but on the NFC side this year. The records aren't necessarily the same though.
No.
So they can sneak in compared to where we have, look at everything, like everybody's quarterback went down besides Baltimore in the AFC North. Pickett is gone. Browns never had a quarterback this year, and Joey Burr is not in the picture. How long can these 3 teams manage to hold on to those spots? And in that span of time, how soon can the Broncos and Bills of the world just figure it out all on the same week? Broncos have it figured out, I think. Sean Payton has a lot more figured out than I think right now McDermott and the Bills do. Because a couple more wins based on the teams that they have to play, and this team can potentially cash themselves an early ticket. We don't know who the 5th seed is going to be on that side. We have no clue. It could be anybody. And I think 5th, 6th, 7th seeds are all going to be ugly-ass records. It's gross on that side, bro. And everybody is beating each other, too, on the AFC side. Nobody owns anybody out there.
Nah.
Nobody owns anybody.
The AFC's wide open. Wide open.
Patriots, bro. Is Belichick done? Does he walk away soon? I don't know.
He's gonna have a top pick to replace the quarterback.
Yeah, there's a good chance that he kind of just stays and just kind of figures it out because nobody's noticing because nobody's watching. Especially if you tried to tune into the Patriots-Chargers game this past Sunday, which was the drizzling shits. But the Patriots defense has been playing really, really good football. The problem is the other side of the football is Bailey Zappi and guys like that. And now with Ramondre Stevenson out of the picture, you don't know what this product is about to look like. You think he would get fired, Mike?
Nah.
That'll be pretty crazy. I think he knows too much to get fired. So they're going to be together longer than we think they are because there's a lot of knowledge between all these people, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And right now we're witnessing the ugly with the New England Patriots and their record and their offense. And now they're going up into a matchup with the Pittsburgh Steelers that is an ugly matchup, and both football teams like to win ugly. They like to bring you into the dirt and punch you until you're down and you're out and you have no hope. Mitchell Trubisky came out and said a couple of days ago, starting quarterback for the Steelers.
Oh God, are we gonna do this?
He said, right, I'm just gonna quote what he said, because I did it with the Eagles OC. Mitchell Trubisky said he is going to be thoughtfully aggressive on Thursday night. And he left it at that. So I heard that soundbite. Then I heard the Najee Harris soundbite, which was even funnier, because I'm wondering who said what first. Because if Najee said that after Mitch said what he said, then that shit's even funnier to me. And in my mind, I'm already thinking like, oh boy. Steelers, Patriots, Thursday Night Football. You guys still have a lot to play for. Patriots are pretty good at playing spoiler. Two good defenses. Who scores? Who scores the touchdown? Where can I get an anytime touchdown in this game? Like, where is it? Who has it in their back pocket? Word on the street is Kraft and Bill aren't seeing eye to eye. That could stem from Tom Brady and that whole situation because of the connection that Tom Brady and Kraft had for all those years. And Bill just kind of being in his own office away from everybody because he's not good at dealing with people. And he's just he's Bill Belichick, bro. But that's not, he was that person everywhere he went. This dude quit on the Jets the first day he was the coach. He's not emotional. Tom Brady wanted more hugs and kisses, and Bill Belichick just didn't want to do that. So he went and was giving hugs and kisses to Kraft. I don't know, but as soon as Tom Brady left town, forget about it.
He won a championship.
Forget about it. Yeah. Not to mention, he leaves town, and not only are you the drizzling shits for 3 years with one of the worst offenses I've seen, Tom Brady goes and wins a Super Bowl with the Bucs, bro. He goes to the Buccaneers and wins a Super Bowl, bro. And beats everybody literally across the board. He beat Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees, and Patrick Mahomes all in one run.
Yeah, that was nuts.
Like, what the hell, bro? You guys can't even get into the playoffs. We were optimistic about the Patriots on this podcast. We said to ourselves, hey,
I thought they'd be 8-9.
They could win 8.
They've already lost 10
Belichick
games.
did that franchise too much to get fired. Out of respect, they'll have him walk away or
How's your
step
brother
down.
feel about them?
My brother is just kind of, he doesn't really know how to approach the situation because he was just used to the years of them winning. So I think that my brother is making himself as numb as possible to the situation so that it doesn't hurt as much. But he's also dealing with the reality of something that I told him a long time ago. Because when the Titans and the Patriots were going head to head, I was talking a lot of shit. I told them, enjoy this. Because after this, these guys are going back to the basement for a long time. And you might not see this shit ever again. So enjoy this. So he's thinking, as a young 20-year-old, I might have just seen some shit I'm never going to see again in my lifetime. My older brother was right. So I'm just going to stay humble and think about the good old days, like a lot of Patriots fans are right now. Because these days it's been pretty ugly.
Yeah, I get it. There's a lot of Steeler fans out there that are a spoiled bunch. Bro, I lived through the 90s. I don't want to hear shit.
Good times come, the bad times come. It's part of life, man. Like, it is what it is. And you should have known better, honestly, because, for you guys, it would have just.
Especially the Patriots to know, like, come on, guys. This is football. It's never going to be done again.
Yeah. But when you're riding that high horse, you're not thinking about that. It's like when people say, oh, that was an ugly win. Wait till someone, like, when you got the ugly win, all you remember is that you got the win. It doesn't matter if it was pretty or ugly. It's not about pretty or ugly records. Ugly records get into the playoffs every year, and we see the damage that they do on a yearly basis. This is the time of year now We're in the second week of December.
I know.
So this is the time of
The
year.
season's coming to an end.
Any
The holiday seasons are already wrapping up. It's crazy.
Time's flying, dude. Fastest year yet.
So quickly too. It sucks.
Any of the football teams that are currently in 2-game winning streaks right now, any of the teams that you see starting to heat up right now, you got to keep an eye on this team, because this team could potentially not lose for another month and a half and find themselves in a freaking AFC or NFC championship game. And you're asking yourself, how the hell? But this is when it starts, is weeks like these.
Yep.
This is when it freaking starts. There's so much on the line and so much that's wide open. The Jacksonville situation, I think, is absolutely another insane twist to the AFC in the direction that it's headed. Because now that 4th seed is potentially going to be definitely a lower seed by a couple of games. You're going to go up against the 5th seed in the AFC that is going to be a pretty even matchup for them. Whoever it may be, we still really don't know who's actually going to make this thing.
We got a lot can happen from now to week 18.
Yeah.
Well, now week 19.
Yeah. How long can the Cleveland Browns and Pittsburgh Steelers defenses literally drag these teams? That's what they do on a weekly basis, bro. They are on the field so freaking much, trying to do whatever they can possibly to keep their team in the mix. And they just need a little bit, just 10 points. 10
Agreed.
points. All bad offenses out there this year, including my own. Can we help our defense and just score 10 points? Can we give them a lead?
I know it's some Steelers fans that I'm watching, they're like, oh my God, we're done. We're going to lose every game. I don't see a major drop-off from one quarterback to the other.
It's not the offense that's been doing the work. It's the defense. So that's the big issue, is how long can the defense keep up? I don't see a
huge drop-off from Kenny Pickett to Mitch Trubisky, and that's a problem. I already said in this basement a month ago, he has till next year, and that's it.
He gave him the deadline in front of all of us.
If he can't make it happen by 2024,
what game was this? Who were you playing that week? Because you were upset. It was the week my brother was here, and we lost to the Bucs. Oh yeah, you won the game, but you had a sick feeling.
It might have been
It was an ugly game.
The Rams game.
Yeah, it might have been. I think you're right. We had the Bucs, you had the Rams.
And Trubisky too, bro, your career is on the line too.
Thoughtfully,
you need aggressive. To play good, bro.
Is thoughtfully aggressive.
Or you're just going to be a backup guy for the rest of your life. There's going to be so many openings next season. Yeah. Go out there and ball, bro.
Here's a Steeler fact for you. Deontay Johnson averages 4 more targets per game with Mitchell Trubisky than he does with Kenny Pickett.
I think everybody does. Kenny Pickett just doesn't go across the middle of the field like that. Mitch will, but Mitch will he'll throw it at inopportune times to the other team. That's the difference. The difference is one won't take the chance, the other will.
It's crazy. There's people right now.
Mason Rudolph in.
There's people in 2 quarterback leagues right now that I'm in that have one of their QB2s where it says bye week still in the lineup, and Mitchell Trubisky is on waivers and nobody's picking him up, bro. There's people out there that don't have a second quarterback to go into their must-win matchup that are still not picking this guy up off waivers.
They have no idea what if they want to do it or not.
They don't want to. They don't want to because they already know what he's going to give them.
My playoff lives are on the line. I'm starting Russ and I'm starting Gardner this weekend.
With your playoffs on the line, looking at how these two have been able to produce, bro, that's a better 1-2 punch than a lot of people have.
I'm afraid to put Josh Dobbs in there.
You got to see at least you can sit him and see what he looks like.
Wants to put Dobbs with Jetta back.
Yeah, it's tempting. It's irresistible. And some if I had Dobbs, I'd probably throw him out there. Just if I had the Dobbs Jefferson stack, but I was trying to trade Jefferson everywhere I could, to be totally honest with you. In some leagues, I couldn't afford to wait for him to come back. There would be no week 14 or anything to play for if I had waited. Minshew and Russ. That's not bad. I'm starting Russ and Winston together in True Money because Kyler is off. I haven't been crazy about Kyler Murray's performance either. He had one okay game. McBride definitely kind of helps having him as a target.
Yeah, McBride.
Hollywood Brown hasn't been much of anything.
He's dealing with a heel injury.
If anything, Dortch has been like their best wide receiver, which is nuts. But yeah, like it's, next week in my playoff matchup, I'll be starting Russ against Detroit and Kyler Murray against the 49ers. So yeah, it's going to be tough. I might be one and done in a True Money matches because that's tough to overcome. I'm going to need my position players across the board.
Jordan Love is starting to heat up for me in True Money.
He is, and they have a cupcake schedule. They have a cupcake schedule. He's got the Bucks. He's got a bunch of teams that you can throw on, you can run on, and he currently, I believe it's like the leagues that don't do bonuses. He's currently top 10 or top 5 quarterback fantasy production wise. But then it's not like how we do. We throw our bonuses out there, 40-yarders, 50-yarders, or like just boom. Like once you hit one of those, bro, you're just it feels like the fatalities do in Mortal Kombat.
I looked at the score, I'm like, damn, why is it poor Russell always just gets rocked when he plays me?
Oh, yeah, you trashed him again.
Yeah.
You trashed him again in True Legends. That's going to be a very good playoffs in that league.
I was telling my wife, I said every time, I was like, when Tua and Tyreek do amazing, like you're going to hear Elon go, yeah. But if it's against me in True Legends, he's just gonna be like this.
Hold him just like this because like I'm dealing with mixed emotions. I have the Dolphins stack in 3 leagues, but if I have to go against the Dolphins stack in the playoffs, I know that it could potentially mean bye-bye for one of those teams. So you're just kind of just thinking about it. You're thinking about the season that you had. You're admiring what Tyreek Hill is doing, and you're thinking to yourself, "Damn, I'm probably getting trounced right now. I'm not gonna check that score until the 4th quarter or something because I already know bad things are happening there." But True Legends, good things are happening. I feel like there's a lot of good teams in that league. Even the last place teams, there's like a 3-way tie for 5 and 8.
Yeah,
Merck came back and is now alive and well. So right now, Mikey, Merck, and Twin are basically playing for that last spot.
I go as far as Tua and Tyreek take me.
Interesting.
And I'm nervous because first week of the playoffs, they got the Jets. The good thing is the game's in Miami.
Yeah, that first week is a very, very decisive week. With that Dolphin stack, bro. It got you this far, and now you're going up against the number 1 secondary in football.
I'm looking at the running, like Najee goes up against the Colts D. So I'm looking at matchups already a week ahead in advance going, okay, I like this. I like this.
Yeah. That's basically how I'm going to use the next few days potentially because I already know more or less who I want to start. It's Waiver Wire Wednesday, so you made the ads that you wanted to make, and I also made a point of looking for the defenses that I looked at their next 2 to 3 matchups and said to myself, okay, I like this, and I definitely like this. Like New Orleans has the Carolina Panthers this week, and then they follow that up with the New York Giants. No offense to my, Giants compadres, but Saints defense is, again, another example.
How many of you are starting Tommy DeVito in 2 QB leagues?
He's a part of the Wyatt family. He's not starting. He's there just in
case.
It's
like Jake Browning. Jake Browning is getting the start everywhere, especially with people who had the balls to start him this past week.
Yeah, if you started him this past week, that's crazy. My girl bet the under on his passing yards, and she was not happy because he shattered it. He shattered it.
Well, if you watched the week before against Pittsburgh, you're like, oh, like, ugh. Like you didn't like what you seen. Like he had like 3 plays that should have been picked off. He only had 1 interception. Then you figure, and you're like, all right, the Jags D's nice too. So, nope. He just lit him up. Joe Mixon found the fountain of youth.
It's like the Gardner Minshew magic dust, where it's a guy doing things that you don't expect them to be able to do.
Who do they play this week?
The Bengals play the Colts. It's Browning versus Minshew. Like, There could be a lot of points scored in this football
The Colts
game.
could end their season, could end the Bengals. I think the Bengals at 6-7 are dumb because it's another AFC loss.
Bengals hulked up beating the Jags this week. They kicked out. They kicked out after getting pummeled. Like they did one of those Shawn Michaels kickouts. You know what I mean? Where he was just taking a beating and he just sucking wind.
He's like
or Bret Hart.
Sean's like no. He's like this on the rope.
Bengals are Bret Hart hitting the turnbuckle with his chest, and right now they're going up against the Colts team that got a big win. The defense has been coming up big for them the past couple of weeks. And when you look at what happened to the Jacksonville Jaguars, the Indianapolis Colts are now looking at a game and a half out of being number one in the AFC South. The AFC South race is crazy right now. It's crazier than it's ever been now with the Trevor Lawrence injury because they can't rrun away with the division now. They can't.
Yeah.
I don't see it in the realm of possibilities.
Because they were 9-3 going into that game, right?
We're potentially getting 8-3. We're potentially getting Beathard, and then we're going to follow that up with maybe Trevor can go. And if he can go, what are we really like? What are we expecting? What were we expecting out of Trevor Lawrence against the Browns defense?
I wouldn't start him against the Browns defense.
It's brutal.
I think they could beat the Browns without him.
Beathard? You think CJ Beathard is going to beat the Browns this weekend?
I'm not big on Flacco, bro.
So Mikey has nothing to worry about starting Beathard. Fire him up. Just fire him up, Mike.
I say that.
Jake Browning getting the start against you in League of Boom. Then again, I have no choice. Oh, he's starting against you, dog.
Yeah.
Get ready for the experience. And then even if the Colts do beat him, like Browning's just going to keep throwing, so he could potentially get like 400
Jordan
yards
loves
or something.
Dak Prescott 2 QB set. They've been on a roll lately, League of Boom.
Yeah, this is definitely the especially in the 2 QB leagues where you hope that both your quarterbacks have the ability to sling it, because it gets so ugly in these leagues when quarterbacks go down that your one QB is elite, and then you start a guy like Nick Mullins, who is just ain't that great, but you just need him to get you some magic on that particular day. And that's just the reality of the situation. Gardner Minshew is someone that, if I didn't have a Justin Fields, I'd start Gardner Minshew no problem, because every time I started him this year, he did well. He got me 58 points one week. I don't even know if Justin Fields scored.
And it makes you wonder if Anthony Richardson ever got hurt. Would the Colts be this good?
Oh, bro.
Or would they be better?
Or would he just be trying to do too much?
And
as a rookie, you're not winning as many games because you're not learning how to trust the other players around you. Like, do we see Zach Moss have the type of games that he had? Do we see Josh Downs come out and freaking take over a couple of weeks like he did? Pittman.
And the Colts will have a short week this week because they'll play Saturday next week. They'll play the Pittsburgh next week.
Yeah, we got 3 Saturday games next week.
Pittsburgh's got
it's nuts, dude.
An extra 3 days to rest after tomorrow. And the Colts will have just 5 days to get ready for another game.
So for round 1 of the playoffs, we have 3 Saturday games. And they're all fantasy viable teams, too. It's not like, teams that you want to stay away from and shit like that. Vikings are playing Saturday. It's going to be interesting.
Next Saturday is going to be a nice slate. A real nice slate.
I should have brought I had it written down because I was staring at it. I was definitely staring at it. But I'll go through a couple of the games right now since I'm going to be doing the on the money picks anyway.
What, this week's games?
Yeah.
Woo. All right, so tomorrow night we got the Pats Steelers, Buccaneers Falcons. Pretty much, if the Bucs win, it hurts the Falcons and it helps them in the division because the Bucs are 5-7, the Falcons are 6-6.
If the Falcons win,
they're in the driver's seat.
Are in the driver's seat in the NFC South, and we could potentially get used to they haven't allowed a touchdown in 25 offensive drives.
I still say Arthur Smith gets fired after the year.
That's an interesting job. Like, they got to go get a quarterback, man.
Because completely botched the whole Bijan Robinson thing. Like right now, if you were trying to like minimize his touches because at the beginning of the year he's a rookie, well, guess what? You minimize it enough. It's time to unleash him. If you want to get to the playoffs,
He had a good week last week.
you got to unleash him.
He should know better. He was part of a system for 10 years where it's like the running back is the everything. Like why are you not using the running back? You're using Algier, but
So the Colts are 7-5. The Bengals are 6-6. We just discussed that. We talked a little about the Jags and Browns, 8-4 and 7-5. You got the Texans and the New York Jets, 4-8 Jets, and Texas 7-5. The Jets clinging on hope that maybe they win this game and Aaron comes back next week.
the quarterback with the most passing yards going up against the defense that allows the least passing yards in the New York Football Jets. Nico Collins to the moon, baby. Nico Collins to the moon. That's all I can say.
You got Rams, Ravens. Rams 6-6, Ravens 9-3, trying to get that number 1 seed.
That's gonna be a defensive battle. I'm interested to see how Lamar Jackson performs in that football game against the Rams the way they look right now.
Yeah.
Because the Rams just took it to the Browns defense. So I think the Rams are going to be able to score in this game. I just don't know how many points we're actually going to get.
Yeah. 9-3 Lions against the 4-8 Bears. That could have upset written on it.
Bears money line. I'm going to try it.
Panthers 1-11, Saints 5-7. The Saints should win that game. However,
Need to win this game, bro.
I would not be surprised if they lose.
To the Panthers? Oh,
The Saints fans have already turned on Derek Carr.
that didn't take long. I noticed they didn't contribute to the GoFundMe that I set up for him in the On the Money Sports Forum. We still need $53 million, people. It's not going to come out of thin air. All you Derek Carr truthers, this is the truth. This is the reality.
Alex.
You got good old J-Mo coming out and getting ready to make the start. And again, look at where they are, where the Falcons are. If the Saints win this game, does J-Mo start next week? Like, do we have a quarterback controversy now between Derek Carr and Jameis Winston in 2023?
Especially Winston balls.
I don't know if he's going to ball. Carolina's pass defense is not bad. It's just you wouldn't know because nobody's going to watch their games. Like, nobody's watching the Panthers.
I'm not.
Nobody's watching them, and their offense is the drizzling shits. But their offense just doesn't provide the defense enough support.
Vikings, Raiders. Vikings 6-6, Raiders 5-7. They're a flip of the coin, those two.
I know. I feel like the Vikings should win, but
I feel like the Vikings should win, but
I don't know.
I wouldn't be surprised they lose that either because Dobbs could throw 4 picks.
Yeah. Is he ever going to get right, or is he just going to go out there and just fumble it away like he did in the last couple of games?
We already discussed Seahawks and the 49ers. Bills, Chiefs, we already talked about. Broncos, Chargers, we elaborate a little bit. We already talked about the 10-2 Eagles and the 9-3 Cowboys. And we've already discussed Giants, Packers, Titans, Dolphins.
We discussed it all. The only thing I didn't discuss is the fact that I'm going to do my start of the week before my On the Money picks this week. Tyreek Hill, start of the week. And I'll take it a step further. I'll go as far as to say I myself am placing a wager on Tyreek Hill getting 2 touchdowns on Monday Night Football. I want to double it. If I'm going to do it with anybody, I wasn't going to do it with Deebo Samuel, but I'm definitely going to do it with Tyreek Hill because he is on a pace that I have not seen for such a long time for a wide receiver. And I'm talking about like from back when I was seeing Randy Moss go out there and just make all the big plays of the game. Like that's literally what he's doing for them. When he's had that 70-something yarder as soon as Sunday started, bro, I grabbed my first beer to sit back and put it on Red Zone to watch all the action, and 4 minutes in, Tua Hill stack went off. I was like, bro, this is the best fantasy season of my life. Like, it's just it's always there. It's always there. It's gonna be there on Monday night. I look forward to it, and I'm willing to bet on the fact that man goes out there and gets 2 touchdowns. Book it. Just book it. I am. If I'm willing to do it, you should be willing to do it.
Huh.
Telling you, bro.
Start Christian Watson.
Is he going to be healthy?
If he's healthy, start him.
Yeah, after scoring the amount that he scored last week, he kind of puts you in a tough predicament because now you're following along his injury report like I am, which is why I haven't dropped him. And just waiting to see, like, because I haven't heard anything about him at practice or anything, so I'm not totally sure what his situation is.
Yeah.
And it's a Monday night game, so that's what makes it tougher. You might have to wait a day to find out, and if you don't have a sufficient backup plan for that day, you're better off starting somebody else. My honorable mention was CeeDee Lamb because the last time he played the Eagles, he got 191 yards. So I said it all comes full circle on the podcast. I think CeeDee Lamb is going to ball. He was my start of the week last week, and he got 2 touchdowns.
Start the Steelers defense tomorrow night.
Yes, absolutely. I'm starting the Steelers defense and the Patriots defense. I'm starting them both. I already know what kind of game this is going to be. And whatever touchdown either defense allowed is going to be dismissed by the amount of sacks and forced fumbles that we're going to get in this football game. So I am more than confident in starting both those defenses and trying to get the most out of this game heading into pivotal Sunday. The slate is crazy for Sunday. I cannot wait. Might just have to red zone it up, grab myself a few IPAs, grab the Hawaiian rolls. Like I ate that day. You know what I mean? It was just at that moment, that was kind of like my snack, like when you grab a bag of chips, except it was bread.
A bag of Hawaiian rolls.
Yeah, bro. Because the Chiefs offense, I was just waiting for them to do something, dude. I was just like zoned out on the TV. The beers were flowing, and I was just waiting for this offense to go out there and
I was hoping he was going to have a
show a little moxie
in my fantasy.
Yeah. Well, we'll see who helps us in fantasy this week. I think it's good to rattle off my on the money picks at this moment in time.
34-31 overall.
34 and
I
31.
went 4-1 last week.
Mike D, I don't remember whether you did or didn't put your standings in the group chat. So I'm not sure what your record is. 34 and 31 is not bad. You're making a push. And you had your 5-0.
I was 4-1 this past week.
Yeah, you're kicking
thanks
up.
a lot.
Damn.
Jacksonville.
I am 38 and 27. I went 3-2 last week with my picks. Go back and see what I got wrong. I got the stupid Broncos, and then I picked the Titans to beat the Colts, but we got 2 punts blocked on us that led to touchdowns. I just got to stay away from that team. My on the money picks this week. My first pick, I'm going with the Indianapolis Colts over the Cincinnati Bengals. Browning's magic, I think, is going to run out going up against the Colts defense that has been really good these past couple of weeks. Like they have turned it up and they've been making a difference and actually complementing the offensive side of the football and vice versa. I'm taking the Denver Broncos over the Chargers, the team that I basically had booked as the 7th seed because I said to myself, I trust them a little bit more than I trust the Chargers this year. What is this that just popped up here? Adobe.
Oh, I'll get that out of there. They can still see.
I don't want to press learn more because then it opens up a bigger thing and shit. Don't trust the Chargers. I like the Broncos better in that matchup. My third pick, I talked about it earlier. I think that the 49ers go out and sweep the Seattle Seahawks this year and get another W. I'm excited to start players in that matchup, seeing the way this offense looks. Number 4, I've got the Kansas City Chiefs beating the Buffalo Bills this week. And at number 5, the big main event, Sunday Night Football, the showdown for the NFC East. I'm taking the Dallas Cowboys over the Philadelphia Eagles.
Right, the Eagles are winning.
In Dallas. In Dallas, I'm taking the Cowboys. I think that their offense is going to be able to move the ball effectively against this defense. And now the big question is, how effective can the Eagles offense be against the Dallas defense, playing them a second time, Dallas being at home? I'm gonna give Dallas the edge. They're the 3.5 favorites in this football game. I'm gonna say they get their first real win of the season, pretty much, and they get it at home against the Philadelphia Eagles, which is going to make Dallas Cowboy fans act even more crazy. It's gonna create an interesting week of shit talk. I was told I was gonna be completely off on my take last week when I picked San Fran over Philly, but
who told you that?
Eagles fans.
Any in particular?
A few of them. Terrell told me I'd be 4-1 at best based on my picks. I went 3-2, but I made the right pick on the Eagles game. So this week I'm going to take Dallas just for this week. Ask me again when the postseason comes, and I probably wouldn't do this. But for this week, I think that the way that their offense looks, I'll give them a shot, and I say that they get their first big win of the year, the biggest win of their year potentially. This might be their Super Bowl.
I mean, this could help the psyche of a lot, and this could solidify Dak Prescott as the MVP if he wins this week.
It will put his name higher up because that's what we're going to do now. If this is how we're measuring it.
After last Thursday's game, he was the odds-on favorite. But then after Brock Purdy, every time somebody's game goes above and beyond, they're the new odds-on favorite.
Yeah, Brock Purdy's game surpassed it. The fact that he beat
I put a $2 wager on Joey Porter Jr. being Defensive Rookie of the Year.
Really?
It'll pay me $82.
Heather and I were talking about doing wagers on certain teams right now, to pick a team to win the Super Bowl or pick the teams to be in the Super Bowl. And I said to myself, what I'm going to do is, since I've never done it before, I'm going to wait until the playoff picture is actually formed. And then I'm going to place a wager on the playoff picture, because the playoff picture is a yearly tradition for the podcast. We do the August playoff picture, and then we break down the one that actually comes in front of us. And I'm gonna break it down on the pod, and I'm also gonna place the wager on it and see see what it does for me. Never been able to do that before, because I would watch you guys for a couple of years, and I stayed away. I did DFS last year with Mike. Now I haven't made a DFS lineup in 4 weeks. I have completely slacked on the Sick Picks Challenge because I'm in Sportsbook just trying to.
I've never made one.
It's interesting. But I just prefer Sportsbook now.
I'm already overwhelmed with my 7 teams and picking the right touchdowns.
Yeah, and that's also for this weekend. I'm excited because I have Saturday and Sunday off, so I might end up going live on Saturday for a little bit and doing something more or less like I did this past weekend. And also, I'm going to use Saturday to just kind of make my bets, and I'm looking to focus on these anytime touchdowns and money lines. That's what I'm looking at. I might dabble with the yardage totals, since Jamar Chase kind of helped me a little bit, and then I got the yards from the Packers receivers.
Field goals.
But that's it. I'm not messing with the field goals. I'll watch you guys do the field goals.
When I showed the field goal prop, Terrell must have lost his mind. Wait, what?
You can bet on anything. I'm not doing that. I'm gonna anytime touchdowns is what got me over $200 last week. So I'm sticking with anytime touchdowns, and then I'm gonna do
touchdowns. Got me $550 2 weeks ago.
Oh, yeah, you came up big. That just from guys scoring, and then what's crazy is all my guys started scoring immediately. I had Tyreek Hill, Brandon Ayuk, and Derrick Henry together in a parlay.
I picked 8. What was it I had?
I had them together with McCaffrey.
Who did it come through for me this weekend? It would have won me $3,300. I went crazy. I put a $10 wager on it too.
I have a method that I'm going to take an approach to this week, and it's definitely going to be those anytime touchdowns and the money lines on the games that I am sure about.
All right, I picked 7 people to get a touchdown. Devin A-Chain, he got it. Alvin Kamara, he got it. I picked Devin Singletary. Nope. Damian Pierce got them all.
Yeah.
I picked Derrick Henry, got it. I picked Najee Harris. Nope. I picked Breece Hall. Nope. And I picked Mike Evans, and he got it.
Zach Moss.
Had I just done Mike Evans, Derrick Henry, Alvin Kamara, and Devin A-Chain, I probably would have won money.
Zach Moss and Devin Singletary prevented some of my tickets from flourishing, because I would have won more money had I not added them. I did have Mike Williams, but I also had him on a ticket with Tank Dell. I'm gonna learn from my mistakes from last week, and I'm going to try to execute better so that I can have a very exponentially beneficial Sunday. Not only watching football and drinking beers, but winning some money at the same time, and being able to hold myself accountable on this podcast. Come back next week and start breaking down some of these fantasy football matchups, because by then we're going to find out who actually plays who. That's it. The matchups are going to be
Can I
booked.
make it 3 years in a row?
The matchups are going to be booked. Can he get back into sick picks? You know, what are we going to do as far as the Dolphins stack going up against the Jets defense? Because that's going to dictate the pace of the entire day. And who wins? Eagles, Cowboys. One of the best rivalries in football. We'll be back next week to cover everything. Like I said, I might end up going live Saturday to break some of it down. Any last words before heading to Pittsburgh tomorrow?
Nope.
Play Renegade or something, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'll pass it over to you because you could
Just gonna enjoy
like
the
Jim
weekend,
Cornette
man.
with the final thoughts.
I'll be back Saturday afternoon, and Sunday will be rest day.
Yeah,
Then it's back at it again at work.
I feel you, dog.
Everybody out there, if you're getting sick, dude, Mucinex, Dayquil, do what you got to do. Drink apple juice, drink Body Armor. Get some vitamin C in you. Until next time, I'm O Money. That's Irrational. We'll see you next week on the Money Sports as we prepare for fantasy football playoffs and the nitty-gritty of the NFL season. Until then,